1,
2,
3, let's go!
What's up? It's your favorite blonde boy, Tomaso. Welcome to Cooking Foods with Tomaso. I know it's an amazing title and you're all so freaking jealous of me. As you know, I only do things to get famous, so we've started a YouTube channel. And my first video is cooking 5 dinners. Not 1, not 2, 5 whole dinners for when you're tired of your mom's cooking. Tonight is Monday, I think. I can't keep track of the days anymore. And we're cooking pork roast. Okay. The first thing you're gonna do is preheat your oven at 450. This is very important because if you forget, you're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer and your family's just gonna get mad at you because you didn't start cooking right away. Okay, the next thing you're gonna do is in a small bowl, this one's metal, you're gonna mix together a 1/4 cup of butter, room temperature, because you can't mix butter that's cold. Calm down. 1/4 cup of oil. Nice. The Italians call it olio. The next thing you're gonna do is 3 tablespoons of chopped rosemary. Get those last 2 pieces out. 1 teaspoon of pepper and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Yum. And finally, 7 whole cloves of garlic. And if you know me, which you probably do, I love garlic. I love it. And you're just gonna mix all that up until it makes a paste. So I'm mixing it, it's pasting, I think. Jump cut. Listen to that sound. Okay. Pasty. So the next thing you're gonna do is get some paper towels and pat down your pork roast. This is a 3-pound pork roast, and just spank it to get all the extra liquids out. That's what she said. Throw that away. Make sure you wash your hands beforehand. I forgot to say that. So wash it. So then you are going to take your now not juicy pork roast and put it in your pan. And then you're going to put 2/3, not all of it. If you do all of it, I'll probably come to your house. You know you. 2/3 of it on the tops and the sides. And just make sure it gets all up in it. And just cover the pork roast. Pork roasty. And you should have a 1/3 left. Next, you're gonna take about 1 to 2 pounds of onions and carrots, not each, and just get those in the pan. You've all seen Ratatouille, you know how he does it. It's a rat, of course. Then you're gonna take the remaining mixture, a 1/3, because math, and put it on your carrots. If you don't know, my dad is a chef. And I'm so good at cooking. So you get all that mixture on those carrots, and the next thing you do is take wine, and you don't drink it, thanks school, and you pour it in around the roast, and then you take a 1/2 cup of chicken broth, don't drink it too, and you, oh, that was the wine. You put it around. Now you put this in the oven for 15 minutes at 450 degrees. And then after the 15 minutes, you turn your temp down to 300 degrees. Do not open the oven. Now that it's in the oven for about 75 more minutes, take it out and let it rest. And then you got yourselves a bomb-ass pork roast. Delish. That's it for Monday night. See you tomorrow on Tuesday. Bye. Oh, and it's Tuesday, and my family is driving me crazy. So last night we made the pot roast, and tonight we're making a chicken dish with fettuccine. So I'm gonna do it a little different. I'm just gonna break down the ingredients and then we're gonna head over to the stove. So the first thing you're gonna need is 12 ounces of egg fettuccine. I'm using Tomaso. You're gonna do 3 garlic cloves minced, about a tablespoon each of salt and pepper, 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, I got that from Stews, 4 pieces of bacon cubed, 2 chicken breasts, no bones, we don't like bones, cubed, also 2-inch, and then 1 cup of cream. Now I'm going to head over to the stove and show you how to do it. So the next thing you're going to do is bring a pot of water to boil, and I've already started that. Don't add your fettuccine just yet. The next thing you're going to do is put your bacon in a cold pan. Just kidding, it's hot. And put it on medium to high heat. You're going to keep that in there for about 8 minutes, mixing with a slotted spoon. So here's a slotted spoon, and you're just going to make sure till the bacon gets all crispy. What's good about bacon is that it has a lot of fat in it, and that makes the food taste good, because fat is flavor. I know maybe you thought quarantine was going to be your, oh, let's kickstart this juice cleanse, but I'm teaching you how to make real food. Listen to that sizzle. ASMR. So now that your bacon is done cooking, you're going to take your slotted spoon and transfer all your bacon onto a plate. This is the pan you're going to use for your chicken. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your cubed chicken and put it in your bacon pan. And then spread it out quickly. Take your salt and pepper and sprinkle it over the chicken. Leave the chicken in your pan for about 2 to 3 minutes undisturbed, just like you in the morning. And then flip your chicken over once it's golden brown. Now flip all your chicken once it's this color. Now that your chicken is golden brown, just like you girls when the UV index is 11, take it out of your pan. Now lower your heat and add the garlic. Should be about 30 seconds or once the garlic is aromatic. I can smell it. Aromatic. The next thing you're going to do is add your cream. Now wait for it to simmer. The thing you're going to add is your Parmesan cheese and your parsley. Get out. And kind of stir it up a little bit just to incorporate it. Then your final steps, you're going to add your chicken and your bacon. And finally, your fettuccine! Now, take some tongs and toss it a bit. It looks amazing. See you tomorrow. It's Wednesday, my dudes, and that means we are halfway through the week and halfway through these recipes. Now I know what you're thinking. The worst part of quarantine is not being able to go to IKEA. And trust and believe I am right there with you. I love seeing the chairs, the beds, but the best thing is the food. So tonight we are making copycat IKEA Swedish meatballs with the Checo fettuccine. Now I'm going to do what I did yesterday and just read through all the ingredients, and then we'll start cooking. So, first you're going to need 2 cups of broth, 1/4 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of sour cream, 7 tablespoons of butter, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon each of Worcestershire sauce and oil, and 2 tablespoons of Dijon, as well as 2 pounds of ground beef, 3 pieces of bread crumbled up into tiny pieces, 1 teaspoon each of nutmeg and allspice, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1 onion chopped very finely, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt and pepper each. Let's get cracking. So now the next step is to make our bread mixture. So you're going to take all of your breadcrumbs and put it in a bowl, and then pour the milk on top of it. Now take a spoon or your hands, but I'm not about to get messy, and press it down until all the bread is covered. Let that soak for 5 minutes. The next thing we gotta do is start our onions. So you're gonna take a tablespoon of butter and put it in your pan, and let that heat up. And add your onions. Wait about 3 to 8 minutes until they get translucent. So now that the onions are as transparent as the idea that we are not going back to our senior year, take them off of the stove and put them back in your bowl. So now let's make the meatballs. So the first thing you're going to do is take your ground beef and put it in your bowl. Your breadcrumbs. The 1 egg. Your salt and pepper. And your seasoning. As well as your see-through onions. Now I said we weren't going to get messy, well we are. Mix all of these together with your hands. Now that everything is all incorporated, you're going to make the meatballs. They should be about 1 1/4 inches and it should make roughly 30 meatballs. Let me show you how it's done. And just make sure all of the everything that is inside is in the meatball, and it should be about this big. Now, jump cut. Meatball. Wow, that's impressive. Now take all these meatballs and transfer them to your pan. You may need to do 2 batches, but that's okay. So now I'm putting the meatballs into my pan. Oh. Now that my meatballs are all in my pan, leave them on for about 3 minutes on each side and then flip them out and put your other ones in. So now that my meatballs are done, I'll add the butter to the pan to start to make the roux. So first you're going to let all the butter melt and add your flour in too. You're going to need to whisk constantly. As you're whisking, it should kind of combine together. Now that your butter and flour are combined to create a roux, you're going to add in your chicken broth. Now that it's simmering, add your sour cream in and whisk constantly. Keep whisking until it's completely incorporated. Now add your Worcestershire sauce and your mustard. Now add all of your meatballs. And make sure all of the meatballs are covered. So I didn't get a final video of the Swedish meatballs, but they were hella delicious. You're just gonna have to trust me. See you tomorrow. Hey guys, it's Thursday and I finally changed out of my jorts. It does not mean I'm giving up, it simply means I'm too tired to put them on. Now, the past couple of nights we'd have kind of heavy dishes, and tonight we're gonna do something a little bit lighter. We're doing turkey teriyaki rice bowl. Now I've already started the rice and I'm pretty sure you know how to do that. So let me just go through all the ingredients. So first we're gonna have 1/2 cup of soy, 1/4 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of garlic, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of warm water, 1/2 cup of onions, 1 pound of turkey, 1 cup of broccoli finely cut, 2 carrots finely cut, and 2 green onions for garnish. Now let's head over to the stove and start making that sauce. Alright, let's make that sauce. So you're going to take your soy sauce, your sugars, you can add less if you'd like, your 2 tablespoons of garlic, I'm never getting the smell out, all that ginger, really fresh, and your red wine vinegar. And what you're going to do is then use a whisk and mix until all of the sugar is dissolved. The next thing you're going to do is make your slurry, which is just a fancy word for cornstarch and water. So you're going to take 2 tablespoons of water and add it to your cornstarch, and then mix it up until it forms a paste. Pasting. Now that your slurry is made, you're going to slowly add it to your sauce until it thickens over medium-high heat. Now look how thick that sauce is. You should be able to have it coat the bottom and not see the pan. So now take your tablespoon of oil, I just use the cap to measure, and put it in a pan. Now wait for that to heat up and then add your onions. Now that your oil has heated up, add your onions. You're going to keep them in the pan until they've softened. Now that your onions are soft, you're going to add the garlic, as well as your turkey. Make sure to break all that turkey up. Hello. Now, once your meat is halfway cooked, that means it's halfway pink, halfway brown, you're going to add your shredded carrots. Sorry, the rice is getting excited. And your broccoli. And mix it all up. So now that all your meat is cooked, that means there's no pink, you're going to add your sauce that we made earlier and stir until it's completely incorporated. This is what it looks like when all the sauce is incorporated. Top with sesame seeds and enjoy. See you tomorrow. It's finally Friday, and I think we all just need to take a deep breath. Now tonight we are making pierogies with cabbage and kielbasi. We're taking a little trip to Russia. So the first thing we're going to do is going to make the filling, because we're going to have to put it in the fridge to cool down, and then we'll make the dough. So you're going to take a cup of mashed potatoes, which I already made, and put it in a bowl. And 1 cup of cheddar cheese. You're then going to mix that all up until the cheese has melted. Time for the dough. Just kidding, I'm not Russian. You're going to take your 2 cups of flour and put it in your bowl. Then add your egg and incorporate. The dough is going to be very clumpy. Also add your salt. Like this. The next thing you're going to do is add your sour cream, a cup of sour cream. How much? Half a cup of sour cream. Oh, thank you, imaginary hand. And about a 1/4 cup of room temperature butter. What you're then going to do is incorporate until it forms a wet, sticky ball. So now that it looks like a wet, sticky ball, you knead with your fingers until it's less wet and less sticky. Don't add any more flour. Now that your wet, sticky ball is no longer wet and sticky, wrap it up in plastic wrap and put it in your fridge until chilled. So now, while the dough and the filling is chilling, that rhymes, I'm gonna start on the cabbage. So I put a shit ton of butter, a lot of butter, into this pot, and now I'm adding the cabbage. And all I did was slice it thinly. And you're just gonna let that kind of get better, and it should, as the steam rises up, cook the rest of the cabbage. Now as your cabbage is cooking, we're gonna start the kielbasi. I put half a pan of water and the kielbasi in it, and I turn the heat on high. It's gonna start to boil and defrost. After that, I'm gonna take the water out, put some butter in, and then start to sear on the outside. Now that your dough and your filling is chilled, you're going to split your dough in half and roll it out until it's 1/8 thick. Now I have my first dough rolled out. I'm going to take a 2-inch cutter. I have this glass and cut circles out of this dough. Then you're going to repeat the same thing with the other half of dough. So now that your pierogies are cut out into little circles like these, you're going to take a little bit of your filling, not all the way to the center, and put it in the pierogi. Next, you're going to fold it in half and crimp it down with the edge of a fork. And it should make you go, oh, it's a little pierogi. And then do this with the rest of them. Bye. Now that all my pierogies are crimped and pressed, you're gonna boil them for 10 minutes and then drain them, and then we're gonna fry them and then we can eat them. And also, the kielbasa defrosted, so I cut it in 4s and then in halves, and now I am frying it on both sides. Thank you so much for watching, and check back tomorrow for a new video. Bye!